All right, it's time for episode number 4 of the Applebutter podcast. I'm Kyle Biz, singer and ukulele player for the Applebutter Express, and this week we were joined by the Corbitt Brothers Band. They've got ties to Jacksonville, Florida, and Nashville, Tennessee, and North Carolina, and everywhere in between. I'm just glad they were able to stop here in Tampa and say hello to us for a little while on the podcast. This week we were also joined by Mr. Adam Bean and my lovely wife, Miss Shannon Biz, as always. I hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you so much for listening. This is Applebutter Podcast, episode number 4.
Hey, 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 my brother. Hey, 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 my brother.
How's everybody doing tonight?
You're good. How are you?
Wonderful. Thank you guys so much for doing this with me. I'm really looking forward to having you guys. If you haven't figured it out yet, we got the Corbitt brothers with us. Isaac Corbitt, Newsom Corbitt, Buck Nasty's standing in the back.
Yeah. He's a mute.
Thanks for having us.
That was one of my favorite parts of your show every time. Is I don't know why I get it stuck in my head. I walk around my house going Buck Nasty all weekend.
Bucknacked.com.
We got wonderful Mr. Adam Bean with us.
Yeah.
And once again, as always, my partner in crime is Shannon Beans. Just got off a good show at Skipper's. That was fun the other night.
Yeah, that was a blast.
That was a good time. It was a little wet.
Getting down in the rain.
Yeah, it was a rain party.
Doesn't matter.
Not a bit. Let me explain this to everybody. We got brothers. Isaac and Newsom are brothers. How did you meet Buck? Where'd you guys come?
Craigslist.
No way.
Yes, right.
Okay.
Craigslist. Isaac and I had started the band, and we had a couple people sitting in playing bass
Murfreesboro,
in
Tennessee.
Murfreesboro, and all we needed was a drummer to kind of have a full band. So we had put some ads on Craigslist, tried out a few guys, didn't really work out, and then Buck came along, came to a couple shows, introduced himself, and once he started, that was it.
That was all she wrote. Very cool. So you guys said you found Buck on Craigslist. Okay.
Yeah.
This leads me into something crazy that happened to me this week. Do you guys have you guys had any crazy people that just send you messages? Like,
Sure.
Oh, man.
I shouldn't say crazy. I guess crazy is not a good word for it. I got a message from this guy. I'm not gonna say his name. He friended me. We had mutual friends. I'd never met him or anything, and I friended him. And 10 minutes later, I got this message, and we're gonna call him. I'll just call him Dude. Dude writes, "This is the first thing he says to me." Dude says, "Hey, can you get me famous and play festivals with y'all? Yes or no?" That's the first message. And he writes again. "I've met you and your wife a long time ago. Listen, okay, here's the thing. He's doing voice text. He's talking to voice, so it's talking into his phone, and it's messing up, so it's really incoherent. So I'm just going to kind of paraphrase what I think he means. He says, I met you and your wife a long time ago. Listen to my music and let me know. Sorry, I do voice text. I'm trying to start a band. I have all the songs, and I'm saying I write all my own songs, so let me know." I'm trying to read this coherently. "I don't like writing. I'm talking to people anyways. I'm a musician. If you don't want to help me out getting a band, that's cool. I understand. I was actually thinking you and your wife could write songs with me, and I'll sing my lyrics I have over 500 songs. I'm a star. And I'm going to be famous, and I like the way I'll play. Us together could blow up big time." So now this is all within. This is in 5 minutes. He's written all this in 5 minutes. Okay, so I write back. This is what I said. "Hey, dude, man, I'd help any way I can, but I'm struggling to do all the things you want for myself. As far as playing festivals and stuff, you just have to get yourself out there and meet some folks. If you're looking to put a band together, I would recommend checking open mics and or Craigslist to find other musicians. Craigslist. You can find other bandmates on Craigslist. That's not it. Because Shannon's like, that's kind of an asshole thing to say. Like, tell them to check Craigslist. But no, you find good people on Craigslist.
I said the same thing to people who ask.
Check on Craigslist. You can put a band together on Craigslist with people that are interested in being a band, you know?
Yeah.
So I said, okay, check Craigslist. As far as writing goes, we pretty much write all of our own music. And that was the end of my set. Okay, dude writes back. I've heard your music, and your writing skills will not get you far. Trust me. Hold on. Trust me. You need somebody like me. So I just wrote back, wow, that's offensive. Have a good day. He wrote, sorry. Dude says, sorry. I'm just really honest. I'm a rock star. Bye.
Oh my god.
I'm not making it up. Here, you pass it around, man. I couldn't make it up. It's all right here. Yeah. So then he deleted me, and I can't even find him. I wanted to look up his music, but once he deleted me, I can't even find any of his stuff. So,
damn, dude. Taylor sounds
sorry,
like
dude. Normally, if that was just a little bit more coherent, that's the type of thing that would keep me awake at night. But I can hear the crazy in it, and I know that he probably just needs a little bit of help, you know?
That's pretty wild, man. That's a pretty good one.
So yeah,
he's confident.
He is confident in himself, and maybe he's amazing. Maybe he really is just an absolute rock star.
Normally when they say that, they're not though. Yeah. Yeah.
He might have been just messed up and woke up the next day and checked his messages and gone, oh my God, I can't believe I wrote that. But it was 1 o'clock in the afternoon on like a Wednesday.
Yeah.
So if he gets down like that, I mean, that's cool, but
Might be that kind of famous.
Yeah.
Be famous in the hood.
good Lord, can you get me famous? Yes or no? Yes or no? Well,
I'm going to say probably not.
I'm going to say probably not.
Well, see, we're still taking that class.
See, I'm trying to figure out how to
Probably get like some free
We're
beer or
the same
something,
words you're
but
trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure.
I got that message while we're in the Railroad Blues Bar in Miami. And we played there on Saturday night. And it was a very nice place. The place was awesome. It wasn't in the greatest part. Well, I don't know. It was just in kind of a rough neighborhood. But the inside was amazing. It was like kind of like a speakeasy type bar. And once the show started and security started, everything was totally cool. Just a normal show. But before that, we got there at like 7 o'clock to load in. And there was nobody there yet. And it was just the scariest people in there. Just like face tattoos galore. They kept looking at Shannon's purse, and I just kind of like stood there like hugging her.
the one guy with the face tattoos, he walked right up to us and just sort of stepped in the circle where we were talking. And I thought he might be the sound guy because we were waiting for the sound guy. And I was like, hey! And then I saw he had face tattoos and was like visibly dirty. And I was like, oh God, you're probably not the sound guy. Now you're going to stand here and talk to us.
It definitely wasn't the sound
It
guy.
is Miami.
So
Could've been the sound guy.
he's kind of creeping on everybody, and I just kind of he's making me nervous because he keeps looking at Shannon's purse and then he looks back at me. And he looks at Shannon's purse and he looks back at me. He kept asking me for money to get a pack of cigarettes, and I was like, I got no money for you, bro. I'm sorry. I like carry his credit cards. He's like, well, can I get a cigarette? And I said, yeah, sure, but you can't smoke in here, so let's go outside. So I was happy to walk this dude outside just so I knew that like they could have a couple of minutes, and then if I could get him outside. If I can get him to light a cigarette, I could immediately put my cigarette out, go back in, and be like, let's get, go backstage or something. While I'm out there giving him a cigarette, he pulls out this plastic grocery bag and goes, check this out, man, $10. And he pulls out a car CD player. And I'm going, you didn't get that out of a van, did you? That was parked around the back. That thing looks awful familiar.
Oh man, Miami.
You were telling me earlier about the cruise you played on that came into Miami. Tell me a little bit about the cruise.
The cruise was amazing. Getting back into the United States was the hardest thing we ever did.
Oh, that was hectic.
Yeah, so we all get back, and they didn't serve breakfast on the cruise ship before you get off. So everybody was kind of hungry and was like wanting to get off. And we got off down there in Miami, and it's like 90 degrees. Everybody's burning up and starving. And we had left the RV at a casino, like, I don't know, like 5 or 10 miles away or something. So Rob, our tour manager, was going to take a shuttle from the port, go get the RV, bring it back. And during that, they were going to be bringing all of our equipment and our luggage and all out. So when Rob got there, we could just load up quick and get out of there. So Rob leaves, gets on the shuttle. He's gone a while, and they're having trouble finding any of our band equipment.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they were like, well, we're not really sure where that is.
So
and
wait,
we've unloaded the boat, and it's still not here.
So the band equipment was on the boat, and you're waiting for it to get off.
We had left it all on the top deck, like where we played last. All the music equipment from all the bands went in one central place, and then it was up to the boat to get it down
Like,
to wherever and off the ship.
Like how many bands? What kind of boat? It was like a cruise.
It was
like
our full band, another full band, both of our PAs essentially, and like 3 or 4 acoustic acts with equipment.
And how long were you? How long were you out
steel
for?
drums, keyboards, full 3 PAs.
How long were you? Was the cruise?
7 days.
7 days.
And
Oh,
so,
cool,
So
okay.
like the last night, we did one big last jam, and then when we broke down from that, we were told by the boat to leave our stuff. They would handle it. They'd get it off first. They'd take care of it.
All right.
So we're on land. They can't find it anywhere. So we're like, okay. So they're like, you need to go way down to this other building and ask whoever, if he's seen it or whatever. So I get down there, and whoever's not there, he had just gone to lunch. It's like
Of course.
1 o'clock. He's like, he just went to lunch. He's
Yeah,
not
of
going to be
course
back
he
for
did.
an hour. So I'm like, well, this is good. So we're waiting around. So we don't have any of our stuff.
Is it time sensitive? Like you got a gig to get to?
It's hot sensitive.
Okay, it's hot sensitive.
It's Miami, and we just got off the boat, and we're all tired, and we've been for 7 days partying, doing that deal. We
Yep.
just got back, and, it's just
yeah, I don't got.
hectic. Can't find our everything.
Seems like nobody really has answers to any
Right.
questions at all, like. So
Planes,
anyway, we're
trains,
waiting
and
around.
automobiles.
We get a phone call. Not directly. Somebody does, that our RV has caught on fire.
Oh no.
What?
So we're all like, what in the world? So we're all like, is this a rumor or what? So I call Rob, and he's like, dude, definitely had a fire on here. I was coming back, and like all of a sudden I see smoke at this red light, and I keep going for a second, and boom, there's flames. He's like, I had to pull over. Something about he found one extinguisher, but it was so old it just barely did anything, and then he had to go back in and find another one. It was an ordeal. The fire department had to come. This whole thing, something underneath the motor, it caught on fire.
I just wanted to go
So
home.
for like a span of maybe like 20 minutes, everything that we owned was lost. Like all of our music equipment, all of our clothes, all
house.
of our damn house.
House fire.
The damn RV was burning down,
And
and we're in Miami, and nobody's
To
got.
seal the deal, it was his girlfriend who came up, and she said, all I know, and this is the first thing I heard about it, she said, all I know, and she's like tearing up, is the RV's on fire, on the way here, it caught on fire, and the fire department's on the way.
No.
That's all I know. So I'm thinking just automatically,
You see a
The RV's
blazing
on fire.
inferno
Yeah.
on the side of the
the
road.
RV's on
I'm like,
fire, so everything's done for that's in the
Yeah.
RV, which
Yep.
is everything we own. And our music stuff is nowhere to be found, and it's hot as hell, and it's Miami, and no one speaks English. And the people who do aren't ready to speak to us
No.
because they're on lunch.
Yeah.
So you remember that old show MacGyver?
Oh yeah.
That show is based around Rob. Because
Yeah.
he like somehow
Yeah, he is.
got a part from a store and got under there and fixed it and like was able to get the RV like running again. But before we could get to the RV, so the RV's broke down and we have to get all of our unfound at this point stuff whenever they find it out. I forgot to tell you too, to get back into port, you have to have your passport and all your IDs and stuff. I accidentally packed all my stuff in with the band equipment. So, like, I had to go through the scary back room and all to get in. And anyways,
That's
so our stuff finally does get found, and it was a pain in the ass, but they finally find it, and we had to load all of that equipment into the other band's single van and their trailer. So we loaded their trailer with all their stuff.
Which was
All our
Grandma
stuff.
already.
You should have seen it. And then we all crammed into this van and drove from there to where the RV was broke down. Where Rob was still there trying to get it fixed at this point. We waited around. He finally got it going. So then they had another gig to get to, so they unloaded all of our stuff out of their trailer and they took off. So whenever we got the RV running, we were like, oh my God. And at this point, we were just like wore out, like totally done spinning everything. So we were like, fuck this. We got to find a Walmart parking lot somewhere right now. We got to go lay down. We get to a Walmart parking lot in Miami too now, even at like 9 o'clock on, I think this was like a Sunday night. Everything was like packed as hell. And it was just crazy everywhere, even in this parking lot. We pull in there and we get situated. We're like, I guess we'll just stay here or whatever. When we like look up at the sign, says like no overnight parking.
What?
What?
I thought that was
I
everywhere.
thought that was
Not
so
Miami.
long.
Not in Miami.
Wow.
Miami.
Welcome
we're
to
like,
Miami.
What the hell are we gonna do? Like, and it was, like I say, hot as balls. So,
Miami.
so we call it a.
What?
So my girlfriend was with us. So she's another good idea. She says that Buck's father-in-law, right, Michael, is a truck driver, and he had all these room points, hotel points.
Uh-huh.
And if we, like, we're ever in a bind, he'll get us a room, right?
Cool.
So she's like, let me try to get this lined up. Like, I'm not kidding you. We went from sitting in a Walmart parking lot, burning up with no place to go, to like a 5-star, 2 hotel room, like the nicest freaking room in Miami. Like, it seemed like way up high, this beautiful view. Like, it was just unbelievable.
That's
so,
nice
Turns out when the
payoff.
fire, what had happened is it didn't really even cause much damage. It had burnt like the under, like when you lift up the hood. It was, when we showed up, I was expecting to see damage, like anything when the fire department came.
Right.
So like we show up and you see like residue from where the fire extinguisher was, but nothing, no damage at all. I'm
Holy
like,
cow.
what do you mean this thing caught on fire?
That's lucky.
Yeah.
But it had caught on fire under the hood. By the time he popped it, he put it all out, and it just had burned up some wires and some stuff underneath. But like nothing was damaged during it. It was just the initial shock of getting off, and the RV's on fire, fire department's on the way. What do you mean? I have no clue. That's all I heard. And no one's answering.
Yeah, you got nothing.
You assume the worst. Like,
Yep.
okay,
Yes.
everything was
Everything
burning
is-
to the ground.
Gone.
This other band's like, no.
That's devastating.
The RV's on fire. Like, what are we going to do? We're like, we don't know what we're going to do. Like, what do you mean we're going to do? Our house is a house fire.
Still figuring it out. What do you
Sit
do?
here and sweat. Think about it.
think about it.
We're gonna-
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a weird situation. We're not very fond of Miami so far.
Where did you guys get on for the cruise with your grandparents right before our wedding, Adam?
It was Miami, I believe.
Yep. Adam and Cody went on a cruise right before Shannon and I's wedding, and they
That was
hustled.
Awesome. That was really awesome.
They made it.
As soon as we came back from the cruise, it was a wedding. And I hadn't slept for 5 days. It's a cruise. We were doing like we do for 5 days, and then we got back, and it was a wedding.
My
My
favorite part about
we had
that.
to party another 4 or 5 days. It was awesome.
My favorite thing about that, picturing that, was Cody was telling me you guys had to have a tuxedo for one of the nights there.
Yeah.
And that would have been. Why aren't there more pictures of that out and about? I can't imagine. I can't even picture Adam being in a tuxedo.
I don't know.
I can picture it lasting for
I
about
rented
5
it.
minutes before the tie comes off and the shirt comes untucked, and
It
know?
was bad. It was bad. When I heard I had to wear it, I was like, let's do it one time.
never been on a cruise.
Returned it.
Never been on a big boat. I've only been fishing
It's
like
fun.
3 times in my whole
You're
life.
missing out. It's one of my favorite ways of
Oh,
vacation.
Yeah, and it's not that I don't have anything against it. I just never done much of it at all. Never done
You
much
should try it
fishing.
at least once.
I'll give it a shot. We might go up to Chassahowitzka and we'll give it a shot up there maybe. Can you fish there? I need a license, don't
Cruising
I?
on our boat.
You don't
It's a lot
need a
different
license.
cruising on that boat.
America. You
A
know,
lot different.
When you got Adam as the pilot,
Yeah.
tell him.
Yeah.
That's a real
I haven't
cruise
had a
right there.
license in
But
5
Chassahowitzka
years,
is a
man.
beautiful, awesome place. And one of the coolest things I thought about that was like last time we were out there and we were crabbing, it was at night. And we're going around, off the end of the boat and, scooping up crabs. When you use a spotlight, you can see them. You scoop them in a net. Well, they ended up getting so far off to the side of the boat that we couldn't, eventually we're like, screw this. We're going to jump in here and we'll just like y'all spotlight them and we'll go up and net them. And we're doing that. We're walking all around,
Crabs
doing
and
this,
biting
doing
their
this. And they're like, oh, there's one over there. We're running over here and scooping it up. Then we get back on the boat and we're sitting there and our legs are dangling off and we're just going right where we had just gone. We're like, we just went through here. And they're like, yeah, we'll just go through it one more time. And we go right over this humongous alligator. Who's just chilling right here. And I just look up and went, yeah, I don't know. It's getting kind of cold. I don't think I'm getting back in the water tonight. I've been out here just crabbing them with the gators. I'm probably like spooking them. Oh my god.
That's fun.
Our bass player has a place out in Mayaca, and we'll go out there on the Mayaca River on his boat at night, and it's just little red eyes for
Yeah.
miles. It's
Big ones and little ones.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's mostly little ones though. I don't see too many big ones out there.
Well, where
It's a
there's
good
little
thing.
ones.
Yeah, I figure they gotta be around
That's why the big
somewhere.
ones get so big. They're in the background watching all that.
Yeah, exactly.
They're so big you can only see one eye at a time.
Yeah.
Driving through the Everglades, we were driving down to Miami, down Alligator Alley. I mean, you see you see tourists like, I mean, with their cars parked, like, look at the alligator. It's like, no,
They're
don't
out there,
look
like,
at the
kids out of the
alligator.
car, they're taking their pictures.
like take a
Like,
picture
take a
with
picture
it.
with the
It's like
alligator.
Go get right up
in your
next to
car.
it,
What
sweetheart.
the fuck?
that is
Get a
not
selfie.
the same gator from the petting zoo last
Did you see
Thursday
that-
on the class field
Did you see
trip.
that video just went
It's
viral
everybody's
of that
gator.
dude on the golf course who went out there and
No.
messing with the gator and ended up getting bit. And I thought he was just some idiot golfer, but supposedly he does it for a living.
Oh,
And that's what made it.
wait, he
even
golfs
more-
for a living or he catches
No,
alligators?
wranglers. He's an alligator wrangler.
Okay.
But
Wow.
he jumped on this thing like he knew what he was doing. And this gator-
Apparently not.
No, this gator took complete control of the
Wasn't
situation.
having it.
He's a wrestler.
It was one of those weird things. It's just like, why are you gonna mess with a dinosaur?
Yeah.
They've
Yeah.
survived this
That's
long,
a
and you're still
dinosaur.
gonna try to jump on its head? Like, come on. I don't know.
Let's do a song. Why don't you guys just do one? Let's hear a Corbitt Brothers song.
Yes. Awesome.
You guys mind doing that?
No, let's do it. Let's do that Rambling Man. On down the road I go, living such a heavy load, but I get free in North Carolina. Thumbing down to Tennessee, pass me by, feel bad for me, but the thing is, I choose to live this way. 'Cause I'm a rambling man, doing shit that you don't understand. Like growing dreads and hopping trains, eating dinner from an old trash can. Rambling man. Well, the thing about a rambling man, he'll make his money when he can, spends it up as fast as it'll go. Anywhere he lays his head, he don't need no feather bed. Wherever he winds up will be his home. 'Cause he's a rambling man, doing things that you don't understand. Like growing dreads and hopping trains, eating dinner from an old trash can. Rambling man. Ooh, he's in the wind. Ooh, there he goes again. Yeah. I'm a rambling man, I'm an old rambling man, doing shit that you don't understand. Like growing dreads and hopping trains, eating dinner from an old trash can. Rambling man. Well, I might be growing dreads and hopping trains, eating dinner from an old trash can. Rambling man. Well, I'm a rambling man.
Awesome.
Pretty good, dude.
Thanks, guys.
That's fairly new. It's not been recorded yet.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you for doing that here. That's
Yeah,
awesome,
I got
man.
together with a bunch of friends, some writer, musician buddies up in our little cabin up in North Carolina. Had like a little, what do we call it, band camp?
Band camp.
Yeah, over the past summer.
Did you tell them about the cabin? Or,
No,
Carolina's all fun, too.
Yeah, we have our ties to Western Carolina are weird because everybody's like, a lot of people assume we're from there. But like our whole lives, our grandfather had a cabin up there in Franklin. And so like whenever we do family vacations or whatever, instead of like a Disney World or something like that, we would always just go up there and stay for like a week or two.
Yep.
And eventually my mom got to where she was like, pretty much fuck Florida. You know, she would never say that, but that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
we'd have to come back home to everything going on and the stress and the heat and the life, and like she hated to leave the mountains. So they finally moved up there. And by them being there, you know, like for us, kind of like home is where our parents are, I guess, in a way. So that's definitely a home for us now, but it always has been in our family. But I consider that like one of our like real special places that we can go to kind of get off the map a little bit, you know. So that cabin's still there. It's 101 years old.
I do find that like when we write songs, I write a lot in hotel rooms. I don't know why. Hotel rooms are just when we're not at home. Like, I don't know. I have trouble writing songs at home sometimes. Like, I mean, I wrote, when we recorded our first album, we were staying at Shannon's dad's house down in Bradenton because we recorded down in Sarasota. And we that was like the most productive I've ever been just because we were staying at your dad's house. We weren't staying at home. So that's when we wrote most of our first and second album.
Yeah.
You know, Start a Fire, Riley, all those. I think we wrote Handguns and Hammocks, Start a Fire, and Riley in the same night. If not the same night, like over 2 nights.
Like over 2 nights, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, but like, and those are 3 of our favorite songs to play. But like, it is funny. We tend to write songs in threes. We write 3 at a time. Yeah. And they might be a month apart from each other, but it's usually in chunks of 3.
Our writing is so sporadic and here and there. We probably have another albums worth of stuff. It's just finding time to get together where we can all lay it out and work it out. And some of it has music with no words. Some of it has words with no music. So
Did you guys, I mean, you guys are brothers. Did you always play together? Or were you ever in like separate bands without each other?
We were like late bloomers when it came to music, man.
Yeah.
I feel like we didn't like a lot of musicians I know kind of grew up in high school being in bands and doing the music thing. Like that wasn't our deal. It was like later on in life that we found music and me personally found appreciation for music. But thank you. But it was one of those. Our parents are real big into music. Like they always did like praise and worship at church. My mom sings, dad plays guitar, sings a little bit, you know, kind of deal. So they always did like gospel and all sorts of stuff. So I mean, we had it around us, but we never really got into it too much until around the same time. And once we did, it was kind of like going to other people's band practices, watching them, and then eventually kind of jamming with them, kind of deal until we ended up sort of in the band.
How long ago was that? Like, how old are you now, and how old were you when you guys started playing? Like professionally, 12 years ago.
Yeah.
11, 12. See, I was 21 when I started going to people's houses and watching them, and had learned a few songs, you know, or whatever. 21, 22, somewhere in there is when I really got the guitar bug. He was able to play harmonica like John Popper right out of the gate, it seemed like.
Is it see, somewhat. And you just one of those people that
But it was a lot of hard work for him. What he would do is it was aggravating for us because we'd have band. Eventually we got a band together, we were part of a thing, and we started this band called Southern Trouble, and it was just like a local to Jacksonville Southern rock biker band, kind of rock out, and a little heavier than what we are today. But we would have band practice, and like Isaac would come, but he would never come inside. He would always just sit out in his truck in the driveway and like play licks from other bands and other artists all the time. We'd be in there like busting out tunes or whatever. But the thing was, he didn't need to be in there because he could just come in and hear what we were doing, you know, and just do his thing, you know. So for us, we were always in there like working, and he would be out there in his truck just jamming out this crazy shit, man.
So when he came in there, it was like he already had it.
I got this.
See, that's kind of how it was with our fiddle player. Our first 2 years playing together, we were a duo, and we played at Mr. Dunderbox every Friday night. And our fiddle player worked behind the deli counter. So he listened to us for 2 years. We didn't even know he played music. And
he was in there.
He came up to us at a party and with the fiddle and was like, Can I jam a song with you guys? And we hadn't had the greatest luck at that point. We didn't know any other fiddle players because this was way early on. And we just kind of were like, yeah, sure, why not? And he blew us away. He just nailed it because he'd been listening to the songs for 2 years. He knew every note of all of them. It's funny like that.
Yeah.
Kind of the same thing with her. She just got tired of sitting at band rehearsals and said, forget it, I'm going to sing.
I was like, all right, I'm singing.
That's it.
You're probably sitting there listening. You're probably sitting there singing to yourself going, I can do it.
If you're not,
these assholes can do it, I can do it.
In the studio,
that's how we're trying to push our sister. She's the same way. Like, she can sing like an angel. Like, she can sing really well. And she's like a big Susan Teskey fan.
Yeah.
So she can sing, you know, like And she sent us some stuff, and it's just breaking her out of the shell. You know,
Yeah.
she's not used to it, not used to being around it.
Our other brother can sing like a son of a
Mother
bitch.
can sing.
Oh, there's another Corbitt brother.
In between me and him.
Oh, no
age-wise.
kidding.
My oldest brother,
Okay, he's your oldest brother, and then there's a middle brother,
and then little sister.
and then Buck Nasty is kind of the
It's the adopted brother.
adopted
Him and
brother.
Isaac and him are the same age. So
Okay.
We're like 2 weeks apart.
No kidding. How far apart are you guys?
6 years.
6 years.
I'm 30. 3 tomorrow?
The first time.
Tomorrow's 33.
Is your birthday tomorrow?
Tonight, I guess at midnight, right?
Oh my gosh! I don't even know what time it is right now. Happy birthday!
I forgot all about that.
I did too.
That's
The shittier
incredible.
of the brother.
Happy fucking birthday!
We got an hour.
Happy
and
fucking
15
birthday!
Yeah.
So it means we gotta go fishing all day.
Yeah.
Happy
for you.
birthday, motherfucker. I didn't
Get
know.
him.
Yeah. All right.
That's good.
All right, we'll be
I've got the fishing bug right now.
the
real
appointment,
bad.
it's on.
about 1 o'clock. We'll be killing.
Do some jamming.
We'll hit it in a minute. The first time I ever met the Stadelman brothers was at a Wani Fest, and I was just chit chatting with them. And they said they were brothers, and I said, "How far apart are you?" And they looked at each other and looked back at me and said, "About 3 feet."
That's a good one.
You gotta be kidding me.
I tell you what I find amazing, and it happens all the time. I mean, all the time. Probably my most asked question by fans is, "Are y'all really brothers?"
Oh yeah.
Or like,
Yeah.
which one of y'all are brothers? I always find that to be awkward, like weird, because why in the world would we call ourselves the so and so brothers if there weren't somehow brothers involved in it?
Well, I yeah, somehow involved.
Yeah.
I guess you're right. I mean, you got the Allman Brothers, and I mean, they were brothers. For
They were brothers.
But
Two-
the
2
two
years.
brothers started that, you know. Granted,
Maybe
unfortunate.
it's just funny to me, 'cause I always want to be like, yeah,
Right.
we're
It's still the brothers. They
But then you
killed
got Ben
brothers.
Folds 5, and you know what I mean? All kinds of nonsense. People call things all kinds of different names.
us. Yeah, that's one of those deals. But
yes, we're brothers. Stop asking that.
Yeah. Now, when I met the guys from Cope, they had a guy that was driving the van for him named Aaron, and he looks just like both of them. So I thought they were 3 brothers for like a couple of months before they finally told me that no.
They were not related.
They were not
just
related.
happened to look alike.
I've actually heard of bands of brothers that are not brothers at all. It's like
Yeah.
brotherhood.
Adam, Adam was a brother.
Yeah,
it's
Chris
one of
Robinson
Adam-
Brotherhood.
Yeah, Chris Robinson Brotherhood. Black Crows broke up this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys read about that?
Heard about it.
Yeah,
I can't read.
Sad.
He's saying he's
Not a reader myself.
not a big reader.
Will you read me this, please?
They said, Chris Robinson said, he said, I'm the only one writing songs, so why should it be an equal partnership? And I tend to disagree with that because he's not writing all the parts to make those songs. You know what I mean?
Well, you can't tell your brother you're going to be my employee now.
Yeah, his own. Yeah, it kind of messed me up. 'cause
Nobody's going to go for that.
I love the Black Crows. I do think Chris Robinson's kind of a head case, but it's just a
Well-
part of the thing. I kind of, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
a package deal.
Yeah.
You want to hear some real shit? Adam caught a nice bass earlier today.
And other.
Hopped over
Now
the
for
old
something
fence.
completely different.
Sleeping time. Actually,
Time.
it's in the trunk. You still have to
Oh yeah, you still got
It's
that.
still in the
Still
back
got a
of the truck.
bass in the back of the
I
truck.
wonder.
Yeah, we
cold.
gotta go-
It's cold outside.
It's cold now.
Man, it's a cold night. Everything's fine. We'll take care of that later on.
He came hopping over the fence with a bass.
Yeah, everyone. I'm like, come on, Buck, hop the fence. He's like, all right.
Well, I had to give it up.
I come back
I
with a
had
big
given
ass
up on
bass.
fishing.
I'm
I
like,
was in
shit,
the
hop
truck,
the
man.
fence, motherfucker.
I was in the truck on Instagram, and he walks up with a bass, and I went, ah, shit. All right. He got
That's
it
it, man.
fishing.
Told
Like, he
you.
actually caught something. Son of a bitch, caught something.
That was
That's
nice.
a good one.
That's-
12 inches. It's legal.
Hell yeah.
So we're headed over there. Adam was driving super slow, but I look back in the bed and there's this like palm trunk flying around, rolling over all the rod and reels.
Fishing poles.
And my-
Oh,
it's like crushing them. Like it's the worst thing I've ever seen. When I look back there, I was like, oh my god. I was like, Adam, this palm tree or whatever the fuck this is back here is crushing the reels.
All
So
the poles.
he just right off the side of the road, you know, and I'm like, well, we can. He's like, fuck that thing. He gets in the back, he just picks it up, chunks it up. He's like, let's rip. I was like, oh my god.
We're all.
My favorite. All right, I'm gonna go with my favorite Adam Bean. Adam Bean. One of my favorite. I've got. They are expensive. I got a couple of favorite Adam Bean incidents, but my favorite, not my favorite, was probably the worst one because it was devastating. But when you broke your arm at Wani Fest, some hilarity ensued from that. Adam busted his arm. Well, you tell it. How'd you bust your arm?
Well, all right. we were up hanging out for a few days. We figured we were up for a few days, like we do.
Couple few.
And we were going to what was it, Government Mule, and then I was like, the fastest point from point A to point B is a straight line, and there was a fence in between where we were going. And I was like, that was my famous last words. You know, I hopped the fence and whoop, and I slipped, and that was it. I snapped it, and then we were walking to the show. I was like, all right, I broke my arm, everybody. They're all like freaking out, and I'm like, all right, yeah, it's broken. They're all like, okay, you need to go to medic town. I'm like, all right.
Dude is looking. Dude is looking green. Like his color went away from his face, and his arm was visibly demolished. Like you
had cleared that fence 2 or 3 times prior to that, though.
Yeah, we watched you do it a couple of times that weekend.
It was bad, but it all worked out.
I remember because we ran into you.
You were totally sober.
Totally sober. Stone sober.
Stone sober. What? It was like 2:00 in the afternoon, bro. Of course he was sober. Come on. But we saw you right after it happened, like on your way to the medical tent, and I remember you going, I'll go to the medical tent after Government Mule. I'm watching Government Mule because they got rained out the year before. I'm not missing Government Mule. Everyone's going, no, Adam, you're going to the medical tent. So this dude walks up to the medical tent. This dude working behind there. He looks the dude dead in the eye and goes, I think I sprained this. And it's just like hanging limp. Dude,
it's visibly broken. Like everybody else is like sick. I'm laughing.
A trained he said, he goes, I think I sprained this. And a trained medical professional went, ooh, ambulance. You took a ride, right? You ended up going
in there.
So okay, so you get to the hospital, and now everybody's at the festival still. Everybody's got their cell phones out. Like, when's Adam gonna call? When do we get Adam out of the hospital? How do we get him from there to here? Somebody's got to drive to go get him. We can't figure it out. What ended up happening?
I was in the hospital, and I asked the nurse to find somebody else that was at Swanee when they were coming home, so I can catch a ride home with them. So this other kid, he ended up getting bit by a tick, and he's getting ready to come home. I'm like, you're a pussy, bro. And he's like, I'm getting ready to give you a ride home. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. I snapped my arm in half. I didn't want to go home. I'm ready to watch the show.
The way Adam says it.
He got bit by a tick. You know. I'm like, yeah, sure. Like, you give me a lift, bud. The whole ride home, he hated me.
Now, that's the thing. The way he says it sounds like he didn't really say it. That's the thing. He really said that.
It's real.
He comes back. He's like, it kind of got weird. I was like, well, how'd you get home? This is how he told me. He goes, I told the nurse, somebody in this hospital's going back to Spirit of Suwannee tonight. You got to find him for me.
And
she did. And she went out and found you somebody. So this is how he tells it to me. He goes, so we're driving back in the car. And he's like, so how'd you wind up in the hospital? He's like, and I mean, he's in a fucking cast up to his. Was it a show all the way up to your shoulder that first night?
Yeah,
it went past your elbow.
Oh,
that's right. It wasn't even a full cast.
Don't have any insurance. I give him a fake name.
he's like, what happened to your arm? And Adam tells him what happened to his arm. I broke it jumping over a fence. He goes, what happened to you? And the kid goes, I got bit by a tick. And Adam, without missing a beat, just goes, pussy. The kid's giving him a ride, and Adam Bean calls him a pussy to his face.
And then he dropped me off at the front. He kept driving back. I'm like, oh, my campsite's over here.
I wonder why.
He's like, yeah, all right, boy. That's right.
Oh my god.
That was the same one. I think I told this story on the other podcast. That was the same festival. It was right before you broke your arm. I was just sitting there hanging out, and you come out of your tent with a full bottle of Captain Morgan, and you take the cap off, and you just threw the cap in the woods, saying, "We don't need this anymore because we're not trying to save it, so everybody's got to drink it."
That's it.
Sounds
We
about right.
Sounds about right.
That's
we
good
got
stuff.
a new song. Actually, we should do that one. It's in the key C. We've got a song with words that you spoke at that same Wani festival. You said if anybody wants, after you threw the bottle in, or the cap in the woods, you kind of were rounding people up, and you said if anybody wants to do shots before the music starts, look alive. And I don't know why, but that
about
stuck
right,
with me.
yeah.
So we stole it and we wrote this one. This one's called "Tell Me If I'm Crazy." I'll pull this microphone down.
All right.
Oh, and by the way, it's in C, so feel free to jam along. I got my smokes, I got my suit, my tie is loose, but I'm alright. Sunglasses on, cause it'll be dawn, and you ain't seen a light so bright.
I wore this dress, do you like my shoes? I snuck us in this bottle of booze. If you wanna do shots before the music starts, look alive. Who's gonna drive? I'll tell you who's gonna drive. Your mom's gonna drive. Come hell or high water, I swear we'll make it out of here alive.
Tonight, tonight. Here, have a drink, see what you think. If you don't like it, we can go.
Right here is fine if you don't mind, long as I got your hand up.
Another round, another song. We're righting everybody's wrongs.
You make me laugh, I don't know why. I swear I'll love you till I die.
If you wanna do shots before the music starts, look alive. Who's gonna drive? I'll tell you who's gonna drive. Your mom's gonna drive. Come hell or high water, I swear we'll make it out of here alive. Tonight, tonight. Tell me if I'm crazy, baby. I'm not thinking clear. But don't you tell me I've been lazy. I won't disappear. Tell me if I'm crazy, baby. I'm not thinking clear. But don't you tell me I've been lazy. I won't disappear on you tonight. So yeah, that was Adam Beanline. If you want to do shots before the music starts, look alive. Was straight out of your mouth. So watch what you. Well, no, thank you. Watch what you say around me. You never know what could wind up in a
More
song.
liquor.
I got a little bit of liquor in this bottle. If you want to do shots. Oh goodness gracious! There's a big jar of clear something.
It's water.
boy.
Spring water.
Oh, it's spring water. Oh, that sounds really healthy.
Coming through with
I
the
think
spring
It's
water.
nice. It's nice. It's nice crystal clear water from the St. Johns River.
From okay, good spring water. That sounds perfect.
Good river water.
River. Oh boy. Because I buy spring water that comes in mason jars at the store.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Delicious.
And nutritious.
Jones boy.
What do you guys got coming up? What do you guys got? What's the next couple of shows this week?
We're playing the Amsterdam.
Oh, cool. That's a fun place.
Saturday.
Oh, my goodness. Janelle just brought a big frozen bottle of Fireball. It's about to get weird.
And then we're
So
hanging out
yeah, Amsterdam. So what night? I'm sorry.
this coming Saturday.
This Saturday. Saturday night at the Amsterdam.
Yep. And then we'll stay around a couple more days after that. Then we're headed to the Keys for 2 weeks, playing down there a lot.
Where are you going to be in the Keys?
We're playing the Sunset Pier. We're playing Rick's.
The first week of February, the first weekend, we're playing Boondocks and Ramrod Key. Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a resort, and then we're playing the second week at like you said, at Sunset Pier and at Rick's downtown, the main stage. And then our buddies Homemade Wine is playing like 6 nights at Hog's Breath. So we'll be with them every night afterwards.
Okay, so that's fun. That's always fun to have.
We'll be like on a little tour together over that week.
Yeah, some friends in town that hopefully your gigs don't.
Well, we match them up. The same lady books us. Carolyn, shout out to her.
Perfect.
She books us for all the stuff we do in the Keys. So
Very cool.
She makes sure we don't conflict too much with the schedules.
These guys, Homemade Wine, are the same dudes we do the cruise with.
Yep.
Oh yeah, cool.
So.
Y'all should check them out. They just got a new album out, Road to House Mountain.
We've never done a cruise. I've never been on a big boat, but closest thing to that we did was a thing called Jam Track, where we took a train from Atlanta to New Orleans with like.
See, now we've never been on a train.
Three or four. It was kind of miserable. I'll be honest. It was fun when we were playing, but like couldn't. It was
a lot of rules.
Okay, there's a lot of rules.
A home team train trip.
You gotta,
Tons
like,
of
stay in
rules.
your seat. And, like,
Yeah,
don't
there's
smoke.
Home team train.
so. That was the biggest thing is you can't smoke on a train. You just can't. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Anything. No
Train
smoking.
takes a long
anything.
fucking time to get anywhere, especially to New Orleans.
The part that was really uncomfortable for me was I figured, okay, the train stops a few places. We can get out and stretch our legs and get a snack or something. They don't let you off of the train.
No, you
because
sit
they're like
there at the stops.
They
they
don't come
won't.
through with snacks though or nothing like.
They
There's
what
a
was that?
snack bar, but like they got like soggy pizza.
Yeah, they had snacks and stuff.
No, I happen to be a really big fan of soggy
We,
pizza.
we drank the entire bar out until
yeah.
they had nothing. We were drinking like what were we drinking, like gin and Pepsi?
We
or
were
something?
drinking beefeater gin and Diet Pepsi, but it was all that was left. That was all that was left. We drank the whole bar
That's what
car.
you should be drinking on a train.
Yeah, we drank the whole gin. Ugh.
This is the same thing they were drinking on a train
And,
way
and
back in the day.
with Diet Pepsi, just the
god-awful.
classiest thing you can drink right there. It was awful. Awful. So they don't let you off. You can't smoke on there, but you got a train full of hippies, a train
Right.
car. So everyone was going to the bathroom, taking hits or whatever. So that works fine if one person goes and then waits like half an hour. It doesn't work if one person goes in, comes out, and the next person goes in and does the same thing in there. Eventually, the whole car just stinks to high heaven like reefer. It absolutely reeks. And every time the train attendant lady would come through the aisle, everyone would just either pretend to be asleep or look out the window. And so she'd walk through, and all of a sudden everyone would go. And she's going.
Smell it.
Yep. So we got off the train and we got to New Orleans, and we took a van from the train station to the first place we played called Masons. And I got out of the van and I got shoulder checked. Guy runs right into me. I wasn't looking on, and he was in a hurry to get wherever he was getting. And he had a bass strapped on his back, and he turns around and goes, "Sorry about that." And it was a bass player from Galactic. And I was just like, is this what New Orleans is like all the time? Like you just like
Wow.
you get tackled by members of your favorite bands? That's amazing. It's awesome. Yeah, later on in that trip, we were playing at a place called the 12 Bar, I want to say, and Kofi Burbridge. It was we were opening. We were playing. It was us, Cope, and Jeff Coughlin from the saxophone player from the Dave Matthews Band.
Jeff Coffin?
Yeah, Coffin. I'm sorry.
Crap.
Donna
Yeah.
Hopkins,
He's one
too,
of my
I think.
favorite horn
And
players.
yeah, Donna Hopkins was there. Yeah, he was. Oh, dude, in his band, he was playing with Kofi Burbridge, Future Man.
Yeah, he plays Bill Flecktones.
Yeah, exactly.
There's somebody else too.
Yeah, I can't remember. It was a killer band. Oh, it was Pistorius. It was one of
Joe, yeah.
It was one of Jocko's
One of
kids.
his kids.
And they were killing it. And we were outside, And I was just sitting on the front porch of the place, kind of strumming the ukulele, and Shannon was singing, and Kofi Burbridge walked up and talked to us, and like really
he just,
really
like,
nice
walked
guy.
out of the parking garage.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Kofi Burbridge.
Couldn't believe it. It was wild. The other thing that happened with that trip is there's a guy named Charlie Wooten. You ever heard of Charlie Wooten? He's a bass player. Yeah, it's not even related. Different guy. But he's a bass player as well. In a very good bass player. But he had gotten a gig at Mason's. Mason's is this two-story bar with 3 stages in it. There's 2 stages on the first floor, 1 stage up at the top. Us and Cope and Donna Hopkins and all the people from the train were playing on the top floor of the bar. Charlie Wooten had a gig downstairs, but something happened where he didn't have a band. So he asked Cope to be his backup band. They said, sure, no problem. So they're playing, and he's just soloing on a bass constantly, and he's giving Dennis mean looks whenever Dennis starts to take a solo in the jams or whatever. So Dennis gets all pissed off and says, nobody wants to hear your 2-hour bass solo, and walks off the stage. Walks back to where I am. He's like, that dude's being a jerk. And I guess the dude was, I couldn't hear any of it, but I guess the dude wasn't being very nice to him on stage, just kind of treating him like shit. And the more Dennis is telling me, I can see it. He's getting madder and madder about it. It's not one of those things that he's just going to let go. So he walks up to the front of the stage, grabs $7 out of the tip jar, and just says, I'm taking this. And he goes and he buys a beer. And we ended up just partying that whole weekend in New Orleans, and we ended up flying home. And I remember on the ride home, you had a kid kicking your seat the whole way back.
And I hadn't gone to bed.
We hadn't gone to bed in hours.
Yeah. I was really nice at first. And I was like,
But
hey.
the mean things you're going through your brain about that kid.
Yeah.
at that
I
point
turned
in
around
time.
and I was like trying to like reason with the mom, like, hey, I'm sorry. I just want to sleep for this like hour flight. Like I haven't slept yet. We're coming from New Orleans, like you know, right? And she
said, don't tell my kids what to do.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and
Oh, yeah.
it got
Glad I
ugly.
wasn't on that flight.
It got
She
ugly.
got all mad.
Got a little bent out of shape.
Fine, I won't tell you, kid.
But you can't start shit on an airplane. It's bad news bears.
You just Adam, you just look at him and say, hey, be a better kid.
Be a better kid.
Well,
Be
it's
a
so
better
funny.
kid.
I turned around at some point and I like
Hey,
hissed
tell
at the
your
kid, like,
to be a
stop
better
it.
kid,
If
man.
you don't stop, I'm going to tell Jesus.
But oh, it was Mother's Day. We were flying on Mother's Day.
Tell Jesus.
And I think I said something.
Here's this.
I
Here's
think I
the
said
kicker.
something to the effect of "You're a terrible mother."
On Mother's Day, she told a
Mother's
lady.
Day.
Well, the lady had
Whatever.
said, the lady broke it down to calling names. Like
Yeah,
she started calling Shannon
called me-
names.
Yeah.
And
called
we're
me a bitch
I'm-
first.
Yeah, she did. She called her. Who does that? Look at that. Look at her. Who does that? And she was so polite. She's like, "Could you just please have her stop? Your child stop kicking my seat, please." Like,
That bitch.
that
She was shaking
bitch.
violently.
Oh, she did not just tell my kids what to do.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Like, I'm gonna tell Jesus, Santa Claus, everything.
We were flying into Orlando.
That's what I thought.
Red
My
Nose
first,
Kids is
Yeah.
everything.
my
I was
first,
like,
my she
I'm gonna
was,
tell Mickey Mouse that you were
she wanted
you're
to
going to Disney right now.
She wanted to
Flying into
argue with the
Orlando.
mom. I wanted to turn around and be like, Santa's a lie. It's not a real thing. Oh God, I hope. Oh God. Okay, I gotta call my
I have
sister.
to-
I have to call my sister and tell her not to
So
let my
skip through. We'll
skip
figure out what
through
time it is.
this part. My nephew, he pulled me aside the other day. He's 9 years old, and he said, "Uncle Kyle, I gotta ask you a question." I was like, "Oh shit, this is serious." And I sat down, and this was a few weeks ago, right around Christmas. He's like, "Okay, is there really a Santa?" And I was like, "Oh no, don't put this on me." And I said, "Well, yeah, as far as I know, I think there's a Santa." He goes, "Well, here's the thing. Here's why my friends told me there wasn't a Santa, but there has to be a Santa, and I want to tell you why." This is how he goes, my mommy bought, or he says, "I got 34 Christmas presents last year, and there's no way my mommy could afford it, so there has to be a Santa, right?" And I go, "Yeah, that's got to be it. There's got to be a Santa." So I got to call and warn my sister not to listen to this podcast, because I was just like, "There's no Santa." That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted to tell that kid on the airplane was Santa's not real. Have a good day.
Ruin your life. You're a horrible mother. Bye.
So not real.
Let's play one more song. Yeah, let's do Ophelia.
What can you
C.
see?
C. All right. Why don't you go ahead and start it, Newsom? No, thank you, sir. I appreciate it, though. I got this fireball.
Boards on the window, nails by the door. Why would anybody leave so quickly for Ophelia? Where have you gone? Your neighborhood just ain't the same. Nobody knows just what became of Ophelia. Where have you gone? Was it something that somebody said? Oh, mommy, you know we broke the rule. Was somebody up against the law? Mommy, you know that I'd die for you. Ashes and laughter, the ghost is clear. Why do the best things always disappear like Ophelia? Well, please darken my door. Was it something that somebody said? Now you know we broke the rule. Was somebody up against the law? Oh, mom, you know that I'd die for you. They got your number, they're scared and running, and I'm just waiting for the second coming of Ophelia. Please come back home.
There you have it. I had a blast playing with you guys at Skippers on Friday night, and we heard you guys sing that one at home team, and you do it similar to how we usually play with Applebutter. I was like, oh, I'd love to sing it, because like I get a kick out of playing with the same songs we play with bands like you guys, because when we do them, they're usually a much different arrangement, so it's not like the original. And when we get to play with you guys, it's a little more similar with the drums and the full band feel. And you make that harp sound like so many different things. My dad said he sounds like three different people up there at the same time. It's incredible. I never heard anybody like that. Yeah, my dad was very impressed. So yeah, no.
That's what I'm trying to do.
But no, you guys are awesome. I love the way how you guys are able to get away with it. Not get away with it, but I mean thrive as a three-piece without a bass player, without your standard lineup. And I feel kind of like we have that kind of in common, sort of, because
Three pieces are a hard deal.
What is?
Three pieces.
Three pieces,
I
yeah.
have
Oh, yeah.
I have a lot of respect for all musicians, but like three-piece band to pull it off, it's a hard, no matter what combination it is, it's just an awkward number. It's a hard piece, but it works out well. Like,
If you get the right instrumentation, and you guys did that, and you guys did it unconventionally, you know what I mean? And I can appreciate that.
Well, this is all
That's
been a
yeah.
crazy story to get to this point. And that's the other thing, too, that we've talked about and why we've kept things the way we have is because as long as we stay three pieces, there's always room for improvement. And we know so many awesome, badass musicians.
Yeah.
So since there is just the three of us, hell, almost anybody can sit in almost at any given point. So that's what we love about it. We're always jamming. Like, like people that saw us for the first time this weekend didn't just see a three-piece band. They saw 5 or 6 piece act both nights.
People that saw us at home team were like, "Oh my God, look at this band!" I was like, "Wait."
Yeah. I've gotten calls
Don't be
from people.
disappointed.
So
I've
that's
gotten
the beautiful
calls.
thing about it for me and for us, I think, is that this can happen now because I also feel like when you find bands that are a 5 or 6 piece band, they've got their thing.
Yeah.
And there's every now and then they might have one sit in, but it's hard to get into something where you can just jam the hell out and have a good time.
And be heard and get it right.
Last month it was like that for us. Like one night we have like playing in Georgia and have trombone. The full-time trombone player was playing bass on the side on other songs. Then we go to the next town. We had saxophone and bass. Then we go to the next show and we got saxophone, bass, lead guitar, organ. And then the next night we're back to the three of us again. It's just like, it's always different for us because you never know who's going to show up at the shows. And when they do, they're welcome. It's like, come jam.
Well, you make it super easy too. Like you guys really do. Look, when I came up to sit in the other night, it was just a breeze. It was so easy and fun and having a good time and not overly complicated. But
I got to play the chicken.
Not overly dumb
Was
shit.
that not awesome though? I love playing chicken.
Dude, that picture. Did you see that picture?
Yeah,
It's so,
that
was
was
my
my
favorite
favorite.
picture. All three of us.
I'll get that up. I'll get that up. I'll get that on the
great.
podcast. You'll see us
Please do.
playing the chickens, choking. Shannon chokes the hell of a chicken
Yeah.
Thanks,
Hey,
babe.
man.
on stage in front of
Things are
people.
loud.
Public, man.
Hey, we're married. It's okay.
At this point, I think the chickens make more than we do.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah, we go to like book shows now, and they're like, "Oh, okay, y'all gonna have chickens with you, right?"
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a weird question. Yeah. What if we didn't? Was that a game changer?
Where did you acquire those?
How many?
A guy named Tommy Elmore brought one out one night to his show. Somehow or another, he had one, and he was like, "You boys need this chicken. I don't know what you gonna do with it, but you boys, by God, gonna have a chicken."
All right.
At the same time, like chicken pot pie was like we had just started playing it a lot,
Yeah.
and so it just kind of did its thing.
Well, it happened to be that chicken, that first one we ever got to, especially, was like in the song was in the key of E, and the chicken was in the key of E. Like I remember playing harmonica that night, and I'd like, bah, 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 and my it was the same deal. So I was like, I can solo with this thing with this chicken if we just keep doing the same note over and over. And that's what it just spawned from there. Which every chicken's in a different key. You never know.
How many times? I would guess it happens to you guys at least a week. How many times a week does somebody walk up to you and they say, "Guys, I got the answer to your prayers. I play a mean bass, and I'm here to join your band, and I can
Enjoy bass players crazy.
Yeah, when
Does it-
people
it's
walk
gotta
up to us
happen
and
a
they
lot.
say that, when they say, yeah, y'all are great, y'all are missing that bottom end, I just go, I say,
God.
well, obviously you're a bass player.
Yeah.
Because it drives bass players
Yep.
nuts.
Oh, I believe it.
Most sound guys, for whatever reason, are bass players. There's a lot of sound guys will be like, what the hell? It's like, just all this. And he's like,
Yeah.
y'all need me.
We
I play bass.
our fiddle player Joe said he wants to write a song called "The Treble Has Some Merit" because there's that all about that bass song. He's like, I want to write a song called "The Treble Has Some Fucking Merit." Like, it wouldn't sound good if it was just all bass.
Bass is
Goddamn it, it's
fun.
not all. It is fun. I like I said, I was a bass player growing up. But we get the same thing with at least once a week a drummer comes up, and it's not they never have the attitude of, I would really like to try and play with you guys sometime. I would really enjoy that if you'd let me. It's always, I can fix you. I can fix your band and everything that's wrong with it. You need me. Kind of like
good, but
kind of like Rockstar dude. They sent us the
Craigslist
message.
Rockstar.
Not
That
the
guy
way to
was
go
just
about it.
that guy was just a little more blatant, a little more.
yeah.
I guess schizophrenic might be
In his
one
mind.
word to use, but I could see that happen to you guys a lot. And as a bass, but it, like you said, it does offer a lot of opportunity for sit-ins and jams.
What
and-
happens to us a lot is random stuff. Like we were sitting in Mandarin Ale House eating lunch the other day, and this chick walks. She was sitting at the bar, and she got up to go outside, and she walked by, and she goes, "Y'all look like an interesting table." And like she walked out of our sight, and then like next thing you know, she came right back. And she was like, "Are you guys like musicians or something?" And we were like, "Yeah, we're in a band." And she was like, "You're in a band?" And we're like, "Yeah, we're in a band." And she's
Yep.
like, "Oh my God." And then she started getting all weird.
No, she was like,
She flipped.
freak weird.
Yeah.
Freaked the whole table of dudes like us out.
Next thing you know, she's telling our buddy, "Oh, Uncle Ed," she's like, "Scoot over," and she's like plopped down, sitting there, and then one thing leads to another. She's singing to us,
Yep.
Oh man.
and like everybody in like around is watching, you know. And this
Say
chick's
one
just-
word to explain it. Theater major.
Theater major.
She's a theater major
Singing,
who
like,
moved
parts of
to
the-
Ireland and got her theater major in Dublin. And then she became a musician. So she's like not singing to us. She's singing a play about her ex-boyfriend
Oh my
to
God.
us
Oh,
in
no.
an alehouse where people are everywhere around us.
Oh.
Oh, we're going.
The waitress comes up, and she's like, "Y'all having tryouts in here or something?"
No. It was so awkward.
For some reason, people always want to pull us to the side and they want to tell us they always say, listen, I love you guys' set. And I would just like, I don't write songs, but I would love to read you some of my spoken word poetry. If you could just take some time and stand next to me, which is fine. Okay. But
Right.
there's a time and a place for it. It's so awkward to be at a festival and somebody pulls you into a dark corner to recite spoken word poetry. And I'll be honest, 90% of it doesn't grab me. Not saying it's bad, it's just not for me. I've got some friends that are really good spoken word poets, but
I think we've been really lucky at that.
Yeah, check out She the Slut.
Yeah, She the Slut, man. He's a buddy of ours.
that's a poet. Yeah.
She the Slut. Yeah, he's a musician, actually.
Okay, cool.
He doesn't have anything out. I was just asking him for a CD.
Check out.
And he finally came to town and he gave me a CD, and it was 5 CDs. And it has like 180 original
Oh my
songs
god.
and it's all blank. It just has like just printed sheets of what the songs are on which CD, number 1, number 2. I was like, holy shit.
Check out the Misfits. We got some friends that call themselves the Misfits, and we were trying to put together a road trip where they came with us. They were that good. They would have been a wonderful opening act. They had about an hour worth of material. It would have been perfect. But
I should also just go far to mention this. One of the most brilliant, insane, genius people we know in the world. And he's a songwriter. He wrote Your Demons and Chicken Pot Pie that we do. Hello with Newsom. He's wrote quite a few songs that we do. His name's Aaron Ratier. He's like 1 Tooth Records, Screaming Monkey Productions up in Nashville, Tennessee. And he recently, a few years back, he put out this book of trashy poems and trashy thoughts of his alter ego, Herr Flankelstein. And then now he's just got our buddy who's a guitar player in Nashville to speak it out, and it's on Rhapsody and it's out online and you can look it up. It's Herr Flankelstein, and it is like spoken word for like X-rated version.
okay, we noticed
It's like road trip stuff when you're driving and you're tired of your everyday thing. You put this on and you will laugh for 2 hours straight. And you will be like, this is the most random. It's one of those deals that I encourage to traveling people.
Yeah.
I'll check it out. Well, thank you guys so much for doing this. Amsterdam on Saturday.
Yep, Amsterdam Saturday.
Good deal. We're going to be at Skipper's Smokehouse on Friday night. And then, Applebutter Express is, with Under the Willow are playing with us. Show starts at 8 o'clock sharp, so get there early. Saturday, we're playing a birthday party for our good friend Mark at the farm in Brooksville. So maybe we'll see some of you out there.
We're playing a Gasparilla barbecue.
Yeah,
Holy Hog barbecue.
the Holy Hog barbecue.
Down in
so
downtown Tampa.
Downtown Tampa. So that'll be fun. So come see us this weekend. Corbitt Brothers, where can we find you? Facebook, Twitter.
Farmers only.
What was that? Oh, Farmers Only.
Black Mingle Meat. Christian Mingle.
Christian Mingle sounds good. Okay. Look up Newsom Corbitt on Farmers, Single Farmers?
Farmers only.
Farmers Only.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
We got scooters.
Just go to the Google box and look up the Corbitt Brothers.
CorbittBrothers.com.
CorbittBrothers.com. Thank you guys so much for doing this. This was the Applebutter Podcast, episode number 4. Thank you, Corbitt Brothers. Thank you, Adam Bean. Appreciate it. You guys have a good day. Bye, everybody.
I've been run down, and I've been lied to, and I don't know why I let that mean woman make me a fool. She took all of my money, she wrecked my new car. Now she with one of my good time buddies, drinking in some cross-town bar. Sometimes I feel, sometimes I feel like I've been tied to the weaving books, tied to the weaving books, and now tied to the weaving books. Oh, good Lord, I feel like I'm dying. fool. I have to stand by and take it, darling. Whoa, for loving you. Now drown myself in sorrow as I look at what you've done. Nothing seemed to change. The bad times stay the same, and I can't hold on. Sometimes I feel lonesome. I feel like I'm in time to the women moves. Time to the women moves. And now time to the women moves. Oh, good Lord, I feel like I'm dying. I'm dying.